That still
Oh,
gets my blood flowing, George.
does it?
Yeah, it
You know
still
the
gets.
words to it?
No, I can't. I'm not good at that now, but
Really?
yeah, I still like listening to that.
Okay. Well, you're first going to have to listen to this. Vandy and South Carolina play Saturday night at 6:30 over at whatever it is, First Bank Stadium, Dudley Field. Whatever the case, earlier today, Billy Derrick caught up with Commodore head coach Clark Lee.
Got the South Carolina Gamecocks coming to West End on Saturday. It's a 6:30 kick on the SEC Network. Finally got a night game here in Nashville. Coach, I want to start before we get into the details of the game. Of course, salute to service game. Just a few names: George McIntyre, Watson Brown, Whit Taylor, Kurt Page, Norman Jordan, Alma Matthews, Rob Monaco, Jim Arnold, and so many others are going to be honored. Obviously at halftime and throughout the day. What does it mean for you guys to honor the 1982 team, but so many other former Commodores that really set the foundation for what you guys have here?
It means a lot. And, obviously it's not lost on us what that 82 team was able to accomplish. What's cool to me is a lot of those guys I've built relationships with in this role. And part of the mission here is obviously to build a program that sustains winning and lifts to the top of the league. I think a parallel mission is to build the Vanderbilt community out and to make sure that former players know that this is their home and that their investment here means something to us. And anytime we have a chance to bring a team back and honor a team, have a team around us, we enjoy that.
Coach, taking a look back at the Missouri game a couple weeks ago, obviously some good, some bad. How do you take that loss, learn from the mistakes, but also, look at the growth that you guys were able to see and kind of learn from that as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard when you don't get the result. It's painful, and so you have to move through the emotion to really find the things that showed up that you want to build upon, and then those things that showed up that we need to continue to eradicate from the program. This team is capable of a winning performance. We can't wait around for evidence of that, and I think in games where we sit back and wait and see, whether or not we're capable, we don't have enough time to close the gap in the end, and that's what happened against Missouri. I felt like early on we were having trouble getting going offensively. We had some penalties that set us back. We missed on some one-on-one plays. We weren't able quite to get the shot, but it's okay to play a game where you're punting the ball back and forth. That's just an SEC battle. That's okay. Defensively, we weren't able to build to the stop on the first series, but we do a nice job getting them to a third down and then give up an explosive touchdown, and that's about tackling and pursuit. That's not about Missouri, that's about Vanderbilt. Those are the things, to me, they're indicative of a team that's still allowing the result to happen to us rather than taking control of what we control and steering towards a result. Obviously, we have an opportunity there at the end of the game to execute in the middle eight, or excuse me, at the end of the first half to execute in the middle eight. And we drive it down and throw the interception, which is a tough lesson to learn. Hold them on the return possession to 3, and it's 17-0 at halftime. Coming out of half, it was about the defense not allowing another point. I thought they rose to the challenge and then went beyond. We played up to our potential in the second half of that game, and we did what we needed to do defensively to position our team for a win. Offensively, I felt like we were still waiting for something good to happen, and it finally did when we got the ball in a hitch to Gamarion, and he was able to take it 80 yards. We're capable of that, and so offensively, rather than to get frustrated with punting the ball, get frustrated with the lack of explosive plays, you build to those explosive. You understand the body punches over time add up, and that we're capable of one-strike touchdowns. And I know that's a lot to unpack, but ultimately for me, it's, we want to build on the defensive performance. We want to step onto the field with belief before evidence offensively and just know that we have the tools we need to get done what we need to get done. It's about, stepping into that belief every snap and making it happen.
Coach, heading into game week with South Carolina, frequent question I'm sure you've gotten is the status of A.J. Swan. What can you tell us? Anything new there? How's he feeling for Saturday?
Everything's headed in the right direction. I mean, he's been able to practice now today and yesterday without issue. Always am hesitant to make promises just because we need to get through the week. But my expectation is that he'll play, and at this point, I would say that's probable.
Coach, how big of a difference does 2 weeks make, especially this being the second bye week? So you get 2 weeks to prepare for a home SEC opponent. As a coach, you guys look at that differently? Does that make a difference, or does that is that just the same as a normal game week?
No, I mean there's a balance. I think you can spend too much time in preparation for the opponent, and I think there can be burnout involved in that, and I've experienced that through my career. So you want to spend enough time to where you feel like by the time the ball's teed up on Saturday, we have a good idea of who they are and what they want to do. As important is you're spending time tightening your own systems and learning about yourself. And we certainly wanted to do that over the last stretch, and certainly last week while we had the time in our practice. So it's kind of reviewing the plays that have been that hurt us through the season. It's making sure we practice those, because in the end, that's what South Carolina is looking at, and there's gonna be some copy and paste involved, just like there is every week, where we need to make sure we shore up those areas that we've surrendered big plays on, or that we've had issues with offensively. It's about developing our personnel and exploring new ways we can use players that maybe haven't contributed yet, and then it's about focusing on the opponent, and again, the goal there being that by the time we're playing Saturday, our guys are able to anticipate and get themselves in good positions, knowing how the opponent's going to attack us.
Coach, you mentioned the copy and paste. It does feel a lot similar to the Missouri game, at least heading into it from the outside. South Carolina, a team that, of course, struggled last week against Missouri. So, of course, there's some parallels there. So, heading into this game with the Gamecocks, what kind of challenges do they present, both offensively but also defensively, for your offense to prepare for?
Well, they're explosive in all three phases. So I would actually start with them talking about their special teams. They've had success in the return game. They've broken games open in the return game. They've blocked punts. That's a signature. This team plays really well on special teams. They're well coached, and they create plays. So we're going to have to show up and not just match them, but we're going to have to create plays for ourselves on teams, and that's going to be really important in dictating the outcome of the game. Offensively, it's a team that has the ability to be explosive. They have a good quarterback. They have a really good running back, perhaps the best that we've faced all year. And so, playing within the structure, making sure we get the run game bottled up, and then in the pass game, it's about how do we get pressure on the quarterback to shorten the down. How do we make sure we're in coverage and we have the vertical shots capped? I mean, those are basic, fundamental, and foundational things, but in the moment, it's got to be detailed early so we can be aggressive late. When we've taken that formula into performance, we've had success. When we haven't, obviously we've surrendered big play touchdowns and had trouble making stops. So this team is capable, South Carolina is. Obviously, the more we focus on us and what we do, the more success we'll find. And then their defense has also been very disruptive. So if you look at the games they've won in our conference, it's been about turnovers, it's been about explosive plays, and we need to make sure that we have ball security on offense. We need to make sure we're attacking the ball on defense, and that turnover margin in this game will go a long way in guiding us towards a result.
All that's left now is that the rain stays away, right, Coach?
Hopefully the rain stays away. I'd like a night game kickoff where we don't have weather, but I'm not in control of that.
Same here. I think Vandy fans would agree. Bring your poncho if you might need it for Saturday, Coach. Thanks for taking the time.
Great to be with you.